394 days since Richard was murdered, and we do not have his body. Where's his body? Um, we have paperwork. I thought I had it in front of me here, but we have paperwork, and I put up a little snippet of it where the military is admitting that Richard's place of death is Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss. Um, so where's the CCTV footage? Where's the guards? Um, what's going on? Right? There's security breaches everywhere. Security breaches, and and it gets even worse than that because, and you saw it today with the mother and the sister of this soldier that, and I'm wondering if he was a whistleblower. I really am wondering if he was a whistleblower because he was so brutally killed. Just in El Paso. And this happened under Jaime Esparza as a district attorney. And I'll read you a little bit about it. I'm going to find myself here, make sure that everyone can see me, that everything's working. Okay. Okay, I see. Thank you everyone for coming on. Okay. So, yes, Tyler Croak. I hope I'm saying that right. And he was brutally murdered on May 7th, okay, 2017. Talk about a delay. We're talking about 7 years. I can't even imagine what this family is going through. And this was the mother and the sister that was up there today with Bill Hicks, which I felt was really odd. And having the experience myself with Richard's case, absolutely, I think it's a dirty trick from the fake DA, Bill Hicks. It's a very dirty trick. It looks like to me that it is a tactic of intimidation to control or stifle the the words of the family. Okay, to like muffle them a little bit, pull them back. This act of intimidation. You don't when the fake DA, and I don't even know if they knew he's a fake DA. I hope that they know. I hope someone tells Tyler's family that he's a fake DA. And just please, you can contact me. I'd be glad to talk to you about and share the evidence with you that we shared with our amicus brief with the federal SB 4 case. So many things have been exposed in these last 4 years, and that's a big one. That's a real big one. And there's so much around that story. And this is what these criminals depend on, is they make everything so chaotic that it's hard to understand everything that's happening. And especially when they're in the law enforcement judicial system, and then they're wearing uniforms, it makes it even more difficult. And then they become a criminal syndicate, just a criminal network of thieves. They steal everything. They steal everything. Munch, munch, munch. They just steal everything. People's lives, people's livelihood, property, children. They're just thieves. Of course, money, and it's a vicious network. It really is. And you see here with this brutal death again, and Richard's death was brutal. Okay, Richard's death was brutal. And I think when you think, oh no, that couldn't have been, look at what happened to Tyler. there. And this is in 2017. When something this brutal happens, you would think that they would all strap on their boots, so to speak, and clean up El Paso and Fort Bliss. You would think, right? But these people, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a connection here. It wouldn't surprise me if Tyler was whistleblowing, if he was reporting people, if he was standing up against the Vanity Fair. The Vanity Fair, like in Pilgrim's Progress, you have to go through this Vanity Fair of just all kinds of criminal activity. And if you don't participate with their criminal activity, then, they go after you. They retaliate against you. They retaliate severely, continuously. And if you get out alive, you count yourself fortunate. It's kind of like Hotel California. You can check in, but you can't check out, right? It's that is what's going on. I say Vanity Fair, the song, and I don't know if people know Hotel California, because that just shows my age. But yeah, that's one of the great songs that really describes what's going on in this criminal network there. And Tyler was a victim of it, a brutal murder. In the shower at gunpoint, and then to be stabbed, to have your throat like this. I mean, these people, whoever did that to him, needed the death penalty on the table, needed the death penalty, and we needed to see the trial. We needed to see the trial. It needed to be public. It needed to be out there, just like the Walmart case. No plea deals. No plea deals. This is what's going on in our DA's office with these prosecutors, right? They're just plea dealing. That's all they're doing. Sucking the millions and millions of dollars since 2017 on this case. 2017, and on the Walmart case since 2019. Just sucking the millions and millions of dollars and not giving us a public hearing. Just doing these plea deals. And there's no death penalty on the table. Why? Because we have a usurper. There's a usurper in the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office, and it is disgusting. It is so disgusting. It's disgusting from Greg Abbott that's sitting up there today on the what is that? The stage up there at the NRA. At the NRA, where we have the right to defend ourselves. He should have been booed off that stage. He should have been booed off that stage. Because he's the one that appointed this usurper. He absolutely knows, the Secretary of State absolutely knows that Bill Hicks is a usurper at the border. This is the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office. This is not some little town up, in the Panhandle. No, this is at the border. Right there at Fort Bliss. And we have Tyler, a young man with his whole beautiful life in front of him, get snuffed out, murdered, brutally murdered, because there are security breaches that are purposely there. Do not tell me that Governor Abbott, does not know that there is a judicial security breach, a huge breaches everywhere in El Paso, where our volunteer sons and daughters are being killed, are being murdered, are being brutally murdered, are being dismembered, are being stabbed, are being their throats slit, are being drugged, are being raped. You don't think he doesn't know that? Who's his buddy there? Who is his buddy? Who is he in line with that he's allowing this to happen? Is someone paying him off? The NRA should have booed Governor Abbott off that stage. I was so disgusted today watching that. Absolutely. And he's like vying for, going up there really, really, what do you call it? Strutting his stuff and putting his feathers out there because, like oh, look at me. I want to be like vice president or something. Oh, I'm just so good. I'm just so good. No, you're not. You're not good at all. There's no excuse what happened to Tyler. There's no excuse what happened to Glendon Oakley Jr. There's no excuse what happened to what happened at Walmart. There's no excuse what happened to Asia Graham. There's no excuse what happened to Richard. And it goes on and on. Because it seems like the same little group is involved in all of this. And we have to expose this when we're paying millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars for all of this judicial system and this organization and this agency and Richard's case has 15 plus agencies. The ATF, where are they? Where's ATF? Where is the DEA? Where is the FBI? Where is the CID? The CID is rolling in the hay, getting their stuff on with Leilani Hart. That's what they're doing. The mother of Richard's platoon leader, Dallas Hart, who is the murder of our son. Who is definitely connected to the Real Fit Fam El Paso. Who behind it being the men behind the curtain. We've got day jobs. We can't let everyone know who we are. We can't be transparent. Yeah, because you have top security clearances and you're doing security breaches. You're committing crimes. That's what's happening. I wonder if Secret Service knows about Greg Abbott. I wonder if Secret Service knows about Bill Hicks. Why is Bill Hicks standing up next to a Gold Star family? Why? I would like, when he blocked our email. You know why? Because we have his number. Because we know that he essentially rejected his appointment by Governor Abbott because he could not fill out his statement of officer form because he was representing, he had conflicts of interest. And then, a month later, let me turn it in. Oh, can we tamper with the timestamps? Yeah, let's tamper with that. Oh, we forgot to consider that this was a recess appointment. And so we even screwed up our cheating. They can't even cheat right. And it turns out that the Texas Congress, was then in session. And even his oath of office, we have it. Even his oath of office, he didn't even put the 34th Judicial District Attorney. He just put District Attorney. Well, there's no such thing as District Attorney. So even his oath of office is messed up. The man is messed up. The man is messed up. And he needs to be arrested. And he should never be able to stand next to, in my opinion, this is my opinion now. I don't know how this family feels. But I, being a Gold Star family now, not happy about that, not ever wanting that. I would never want to stand next to him and let him intimidate me. This is why we do this live stream. Because you get into those rooms, you get in front of those rooms where the cameras and this, it's very intimidating. And then you have these people in these positions right there standing next to you. And it's so intimidating. And you cannot really express yourself freely. The family needed to have a conference. But the thing by themselves, without the fake district attorney. And I want Yvonne Rosales to know, because we've been really looking into this. You are the legitimate district attorney for the 34th Judicial District. Put your boots on. We're talking about, capital murder cases. And families depending on you to prosecute these capital murder cases. Assert your rights. Assert your right. You were voted in. The people have your back. You have, 220,000 plus votes? Assert your right. We need to get that big long handle with the hook, the shepherd's hook, and take Bill Hicks right out of there. He's not legal. He's not legitimate. And he's a cheater. And when he cheated, he committed a crime. He tampered with a federal document. I think that's a federal crime. So, you have the media cheating, doing these psyops through a social media account, making money off. You got officers using their security clearances, seems to me, for profit in a social media it is just absolutely, we have to assert our rights. And, the problem is that we have to walk through this labyrinth to do it. And they're getting paid to be illegal. How much is he getting paid? I know that the medical examiner, the chief medical examiner, he's illegal. He's getting paid $438,000 plus dollars a year. 438,000, big ones, y'all. Do you understand that 700, what did the website say? 753% more than the average person there in El Paso, and he's illegal. Sorry, I'm a little spicy because after watching Greg Abbott today, and watching the DA, Bill Hicks is connected by the hip to Greg Abbott, okay? Whether Greg Abbott wants it or not. But he needs to do the right thing here. When Bill Hicks rejected his recess appointment, and that's what everyone should understand. Bill Hicks was not elected. He was a recess appointment by Governor Abbott, and he screwed it up. He messed it up. And by doing that, he rejected it. He rejected the appointment, the gift of being the district attorney. But you know what? He wants his cake and eat it too. And so he usurped it. When he found how deficient he was and how he messed it all up, he wanted it anyway. And he's a usurper because he's illegal. And when he became a usurper and wouldn't get out of that office because he messed it all up, he should have been pulled out of there. And Greg Abbott could have done it and said, no, you can't even handle getting your paperwork properly in during a recess appointment. A recess appointment is super easy. You don't have any scrutiny, any paperwork that has to go to the Senate for Senate approval. You don't have to go through the scrutiny of all the senators there in Texas. It's super easy. And Bill Hicks couldn't even get that right. He couldn't even get that right. It's like these are things that morons do. I don't want to call him a moron, but this is what morons do. Oh, I didn't do it right. Oh, let me tamper. Let me commit a federal crime. Oh, I want it anyway, so I'm going to usurp it. And how is someone like that going to prosecute crime? Because in order to prosecute crime, you have to document, you have to identify the criminal and the crime, and you have to document it, and then you have to prosecute it. And how dare he stand next to these Gold Star family members of Tyler, who was brutally murdered, y'all. Brutally murdered. Like Richard. When he's not even legit. He commits crime himself. This is just not right. This is not right. And it's so sad. It's so sad for the family. Because let me tell you, this 7 years waiting and you can't get justice and everything's botched. The cases are botched. And they have to be, because they are polite people and nice people, and they want justice for their son, and they're in the presence of who they think will prosecute, because they don't know. And they're being manipulated, being intimidated. The whole scene seems like he knows he's trying to shut them up. This intimidation tactic. It's so sad. And, I've been there, done that. Been there, done that in all those meetings where you try to be so polite. We're polite. We're law-abiding. We want our son's body. We want our son's case to be solved. And these are the people that are supposed to be doing it. And they're up to no good. And you have to be polite to them. It's just so not right. That's why I said that Major General Eisenhower needs to be stripped from that uniform. He needs to get out of that uniform. And then Lieutenant General Sean Bernabe, he needs to be stripped. And the big one, you got these 4-star generals, of course, the 44 4-star generals, and, some of them retired and everything. They need to lose all privileges. They need to lose all privileges, and that's being nice. But Donna Martin, she was in charge of CID. She was in charge of CID with Vanessa Guillen. She was in charge of CID with Gregory Morales Wendell. She was in charge with over that case, over Richard's case. And then she's now IG, so now she has to police herself. She has to police herself. Oh, I did so wrong. I need to go to prison. I need to lose all of my privileges. I need to be pulled out of my uniform, and I need to go and wash dishes somewhere to make a living because I'm really rotten what I did. Is she going to do that? Is she going to do that after becoming a 3-star general? Someone needs to do that to her. Pull her out of that uniform. But she's policing herself. And, it's just like what I said last night. We have a general that is, the commanding officer over security breaches. That's what he's a commanding officer over. Security breaches and obstruction of justice and, well, I just want to say up to no good. Up to no good. And, this is, and I don't mention Elder Fernandez enough. He's just popping in my mind right now because of Fort Hood, which is now Fort Cavazos. If I was a Fort Cavazos family, I would say, no way, take my name off of that. No way. No way. I don't want my name on Fort Hood. No way. No way. I'm just fine the way I am. That's okay. I'll be anonymous. I'd rather be anonymous than have my name on Fort Hood, where CID Donna Martin oversaw the brutal murders of our volunteer sons and daughters. For what? For trafficking, for sex cults, for greed, for politics. No, I don't want my name on that. Nope. Mm-mm. And so, I don't know how this family feels, but with these botched cases now, with him not being legitimate, every case he touches is a botched case. Every case he touches is a botched case. And you know who that's on? That's on Greg Abbott. That's on Governor Abbott. He's supposed to be governor. Governor. Okay? But he's rolling over right now. He's rolling over letting this happen. Yeah. And, this is not about, for me, this is not about politics. No. I just don't even care what party you're in anymore. It's kind of like I'm like Martin Luther King now. You know them by their character. You judge them by their character, not by their party affiliation. Yeah. So, but let's go back to Major General Eisenhower, who is absolutely, um, obstructing justice in our son's case. We have a whistleblower in our son's case. And every day that goes by, the more that I think of that day in January of 2022, 2022, over 2 years ago, right? Almost 2.5 years ago, where the whistleblower notified us that he was a whistleblower, that he was a whistleblower, that he was a judicial officer, that he explained things to us about how he turned in his complaints and what he did. And I'm going to be honest with you. Um, you know, uh, it takes a little bit to wrap your head around what's going on, to understand it, to get educated. And I don't want to say that I fully understand, but I know that his complaint went to the FBI, that his complaint went to all the right places, to Merrick Garland, to uh, Ray, right? The head of the FBI, to, because being a judicial officer, um, he explained he needed to he knows how to make sure that he's doing it right and sending it to all the right places. So this is really big. And it was absolutely identifying the suspects in the tampering and murder of Richard. And so it exposed Leilani Hart. It exposed the CID. And and he was kind enough to explain that to the CID in front of it, well, during a phone conference with Howell, right? The CID, is he an agent? Whatever he is, he's civilian. Um, he doesn't seem to well, he seems controlled. Right? He seems controlled. And during the meeting, we found out that because the our whistleblower asked, "Did you know about me? Well, why haven't I been interviewed?" It's like they sanitized Richard's file of the whistleblower. The whistleblower that identified the prime suspects in our son's murder. Leilani Hart and Tavita Nusa, CID's agent that lost his badge, is separated from the Army now. And of course, Leilani Hart being a confirmed, convicted criminal with, a propensity, even her husband says it, to murder, to do grave bodily injury. And she's the mother of Richard's platoon leader. I mean, there were reports she was trying to kill her husband. So this is what they don't want to put in Richard's file. They don't want to look it up. That's not a lead. That's not a lead, you know? Oh, because that might lead to discovering that officers are behind the FitFam El Paso, the real FitFam El Paso. We'll have like human resources behind it. We'll have officers behind it. We'll have what is this? Some kind of secret operation. It sure seems like it. It's kind of like reminds me of the lessons learned on January 6th when we were at January 6th. Yeah, seeing the orchestration going on there. And I want to tell you, there were agents there. There was agents there that were trying to orchestrate some kind of chaos, be it a stampede, be it violence, whatever. And you know what? The group that I was in, what I saw, my experience, and it was thousands of people. They were awesome. Even when we got tear gassed, we had a person in a wheelchair beside. We had children in a stroller, and they tear gassed us, y'all. They wanted some kind after gathering us together, like you'd gather the sheep or gather the cattle, come closer, and then they tear gas you. And then, and let me tell you, when you get tear gas, I'd never been tear gassed before. I mean, it really burns, right? And so you want to get out of there. You can't breathe and it's burning and, all this. And so it could cause a stampede very easily. But that's not what happened in our thousands of people. In our thousands of people, we started holding hands. We started getting like in little huddles and going down real, real low. And as a huddle, taking steps to get out of the cloud, right? To get out of the tear gas cloud together so that nobody would get hurt. It was really amazing. We had amazing men in there, including my sons-in-laws, amazing men that were caring for everyone around and not panicking. It was really, and so that's why I had to put that Tucker little interview. That absolutely, that was so right what he said. But they wanted to use that and over exaggerate and imprison, orchestrate. Everything has to be orchestrated, like these are really criminals. No, no, no. The real criminals, I can name you some, but let me tell you, you can start with Bill Hicks, because clearly we have the evidence that he committed a federal crime and he's a usurper of a district attorney's office. And, and I don't even want to go into what he did to unseat and target Yvonne Rosales. So it's very upside down right now, very upside down, and I feel really, really sad for this mother and sister of Tyler and what they had to go through today. I really do, and I hope, yeah, I'm just gonna pray for them, and because I know God has been all over our case, all over it, to even expose and to find out who is behind the real Fit Femme El Paso was absolutely like the moment that we learned who Nadal Baim is, right? Nadal Baim, the masked man that walks into the Dollar General and says you can take down the flyers of Richard because they found him. And they found him in Mexico, and it's not good news. He's dead. He's dead. Shh, shh. And they were looking for him in multiple places. Why multiple places? Because his murder was brutal. His murder was brutal, and the cover-up was even more brutal. Because they dismembered him. And that's why we have these autopsy reports. And we can't get a clear answer because the chief medical examiner is illegal. He's got this sweet little job for $438,000 a year being illegal. And his fingerprints are all over the Walmart case. And we're told that they're on our son too, that he handled our son. Now, if he handled, I don't know if he handled Asia Graham. I don't know if he handled Glendon Oakley Jr. I don't know. But I do know for a fact that he handled the Walmart mass shooting victims, their bodies. And, so what is the cause and manner of death? Tell me, what is the cause and manner of death? If you're illegal, that makes you very susceptible to corruption. And if you're the judicial officer, if you're the judge that can put together, a jury, gets and deliver subpoenas or write out a subpoena and warrants and everything like that. Um, and you are the key witness in every capital murder case. In every capital murder case, the chief medical examiner is the key witness because he's the one that tells the jury, he's the one that tells the public the cause and manner of death. The cause and manner of death. So, yeah, this and 2017 for Tyler. Did Mario Raskin Ortiz handle Tyler's body? That's a good question because that's botched. That's botched, double botched. It's so sad. How can you not cry about this kind of stuff? This injustice, this disaster. It's not like, okay, well, they're just volunteering. No, we pay them. We pay them all across the United States. And if you don't know who your medical examiner is, if you do not know who your district attorney is, and if you have not asked for open records and said, hey, let me see your oath of office, let me see your credentials. I think that we need to start doing that because this is so what's happening to El Paso, what's happened to El Paso, which means a lot to me because I was born there at White Sands Missile Range, Donna Ana County in New Mexico. Right there, though. Right there. Went to school, grew up in El Paso, went over all the time to Juarez, Mexico. Know that bridge really well. Know the bridges really well. What has happened? And it's an ancient city. What has happened? And Greg Abbott, he could absolutely, I mean, overnight, make a huge change. He has the power. He's called the governor. The governor. He can make a huge change. And he doesn't. He doesn't. He goes to the NRA and says, we have the right to defend ourselves. Wow. Wow. You have a person there saying the crime is so bad now, she can't go anywhere on the border because she lives on the border. That's her property, without her arms, without arming herself. Yeah. That's Greg Abbott, y'all. Greg Abbott. And it gets worse. It gets worse. No, I don't have any kind words to say about the governor of Texas. I really don't. And please, God, do not let him be considered for vice president. Please don't. He is not a man of good character. Absolutely no way. And that he even wanted to make a recess appointment with Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks, have you seen his credentials? They're terrible. They're terrible. You would think if he makes a recess appointment, he would have the best of the best. You know, the best. We got a lot of lawyers. Find the best of the best. Bill Hicks is not. Far, far from it. It's bad. I mean, he has complaints. He has major complaints. He has tax problems. He didn't even like to pay his taxes. He didn't even pass the bar the first time around. I mean, it's bad. And I don't even like to say these things because it's enough for people to know that he's a usurper, that he tampered with federal documents, that he cannot be trusted, that he's not a man of character. And for Greg Abbott to pick a man such as him, a fraction of a man, tells you a lot about what's going on with Greg Abbott at the border in El Paso, Texas. It says a lot. So I don't really have to go into details. I think the details are going to come out, but I don't have to go into them. And this is all explains why we were, like a wall was put up, why we were blocked, why we were harassed, why we were intimidated, why we were threatened, why, this has gone on and on and on. And I can't even imagine what Tyler's family has gone through. So, yeah, and do not forget, okay, this is another point I have to make before I go because it's so big, y'all. Ernest Christopher Grant, who absolutely, I think, okay, from my intelligence, is involved with this Real Fit Fam El Paso, big time, who I believe was part of the orchestration of the Walmart mass shooting in a bad way, not in a good way, not like, oh, I got shot a couple times, oh, I'm a victim. No, he was orchestrating in a bad way, in an evil way, in a criminal way. And he's very protected. So that tells me that he's some kind of agent. Okay? And so you got officers behind Fit Fam El Paso. You've got this orchestration of the Walmart mass shooting. And you have this common denominator, Ernest Christopher Grant, who is meeting, he gets visited by Chris Cuomo in the hospital. Oh, El Paso Strong. They had El Paso Strong right away. Oh, this is another thing I have to tell you. Okay, I'll do two things. So they had El Paso Strong all worked out, that they were going to use that, and he had it up there in his hotel room right beside the bed. It was all orchestrated. And Chris Cuomo comes in, and Beto O'Rourke comes in with, and his angel, his guardian angel, comes in and visits. And then, he gets called out on being a liar and everything. But that doesn't even stop. He gets an award, right, for being this hero, right, for throwing bottles at, which, was called out to be a liar. And he gets arrested. He goes up to D.C. to get this award, and he gets arrested by Secret Service because he gets called out for what he is, because it was orchestrated so badly, this whole thing. But then he gets a personal meeting. He gets to go and sit in the office with who? In Austin? With Greg Abbott. Ernest Chris. I haven't been invited to go sit. I'm sure that Tyler's parents haven't been invited to go and talk to Governor Abbott in his office. Why is it that a criminal, a proven criminal, that is up to no good, I mean, we're talking about a Walmart mass shooting. We're talking about engaging in psyops through social media with officers in the Army, with these secret missions, these secret, projects, secret operations. That's the word I'm looking for, secret operations. Yeah, something stinks to high heaven. Something stinks. And we need to get to the bottom of this, and I'm just feel so sad for this family. Now, the other thing is the Lalani Hart and Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia's connection. Okay, because we've already connected so many with Lalani Hart, right? And this connection, because, Lalani Hart clearly has a good friendship with Rosa Maria, or some friendships, they know each other because she's mentioning things that have not even come out in the public yet. So that tells you that she has an inside scoop. Um, but what is really, really something is that she has had a lawyer. She had a lawyer right after the Walmart mass shooting. So the Walmart mass shooting happened. This is what showed up on our timeline. So the Walmart mass shooting happened on August 3rd, 2019. Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, wrongfully, but she's a con artist. But she, in 2 weeks, got a lawyer to in order to sue Walmart, right? But then gets mad at the lawyer and wants to get rid of him within 2 weeks. Now, how do we know? Because he died 2 weeks after the Walmart shooting. And how did his name come up? Enrique Moreno. Because he was sitting on the board for El Paso Matters. So, absolutely Bob Moore of El Paso Matters, that is owned by El Paso Community Foundation. That El Paso Community Foundation had given tens of thousands of dollars to Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia, and it was so weird, so odd, so not right, because the paperwork didn't add up, that Yvonne Rosales was looking into that payment. And this is all in these open records. These open records. And this is, like, let's take down Yvonne Rosales, because she's looking into the payments that were made to Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia through or part of, these Walmart funds, which of course El Paso Community Foundation was part of, giving up those monies that they were collecting, all of these donations and also funds from, the governor's office and stuff like this. And so she only had a 2-week period. I'm going to tell you, she's pretty connected if she can get a lawyer that quick and then decide that she doesn't like him and have a fight and whatever and get rid of him, and then he dies. So it's only this little 2-week period, right? That's strange, because let me tell you, especially in the chaos following the Walmart mass shooting. This was, this is an indication. This is an indication. There's more, but this is another indication. And, you can make of it what you want, but she targeted Richard's case. That's what she targeted. She wanted to sabotage Richard's case. Why? And Lalani Hart targeted. That's why That's why she's so important, because she's with Danae Katzen. And she targeted Richard's case, and Danae targeted Richard's case. And they share an address together. And of course, Leilani Hart targeted Richard's case and tampered with files because she had unauthorized access to CID files, because she was having, a sexual relationship with a CID agent. And it was really bad because it was adulterous. They're both married. And you cannot be a CID agent and have adulterous affairs. It just doesn't work that way. You're susceptible to corruption then. Well, he fell for it. And he lost his badge, and he was separated from the military. We would like to ask him more questions. So this is, wow. I know that's a head full, and I'll just keep trying to explain it to people and put out the information out there, because this is not just about Richard, and it's not just about our family. It's about the justice system. It's about weaponizing the justice system. It's about weaponizing our military. It's about weaponizing our media, because Bob Moore, absolutely, of El Paso Matters, has weaponized his authority, his position there, and used El Paso Matters for up to no good. And the same thing with these officers behind the real Fit Fam El Paso. And that's why we need accountability. Because we don't want a fake DA standing next to Gold Star family, engaging in what I call, what I see, what I think it's going on, engaging in victim intimidation to shut them up, to control how much they say or what tone they say it in. It's so sad. So please share this. Please like it. Please comment. Thank you so much. God bless you. And I will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye-bye.